Hey y'all, it's your girl Sha. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, as you can see by the title, is going to be about me doing jumbo knotless braids on my sister. She has sensitive scalp, so let's get right into how I handled all of that. So first things first, what you want to do is you want to soak the Kankelon hair in apple cider vinegar and water. So what I did was I just poured about maybe 5 to 7 capfuls of the apple cider vinegar in a bucket of water, and I didn't measure the water, I'm sorry, and then I just let the bundles of hair, as you can see, with the tie still on it, so you don't want to untie the hair. I just let the bundles of hair soak overnight, and then because I didn't do this a few days in advance, I decided to blow dry the hair so I wasn't working on wet hair. So you just use a regular blow dryer. I have the Revlon hand brush blow dryer, which works fairly well, and then I just went through that, still keeping the ties on the hair so that it didn't tangle. Alright, so my sister has really long hair, and this is her first time getting knotless braids, so we decided to go with jumbo because we were not staying for any small knotless braids. Don't mind her movements, she had some chills, she's just very extra. So again, I use my regular, I don't even remember what that's called, but that's how I separate the hair, and then I use the Shine and Jam. I'm also going to tag my old blonde knotless braids video just so that you guys can see that I'm using most of the same techniques there. I'm just doing bigger parts and using bigger amounts of hair or larger amounts of hair. Alright, so you want to make sure that your base is the best that it could be, because that is your starting point and will determine the rest of the sizes of your braids. And you also want to make sure that you're paying attention to the density of the client's hair. So my sister has pretty thick hair, so even though she wanted jumbo knotless braids, I didn't need to use super large pieces, which I will show you again later on in the video. I used like small to medium pieces, not extra small, but it was a fairly medium-ish size because her hair is so thick. So if your client's hair is really thin, then you will need to use bigger strands or larger strands of hair. So I did 3 braids on my bottom row. So at the nape, you want to make sure that you do 3 for jumbo knotless braids, and it also depends on your client's size of head, so you don't want it to look really scarce. So my sister only needed 3, and then that second row is going to have 4, and then we just move up as we go closer to the front of her head. So that's the size that I chose. It's like really medium, not big, not super small. So I already parted this section, and I used some Shine and Jam, just a little bit because she does have sensitive scalp and I didn't want it to cake up on her scalp. So again, I just start braiding her regular hair twice, so 1, 2, and then in between my pointer and my thumb, I'm just gonna slide that strand of hair that I've already prepared on my little braiding joint. For lack of better words. I'm going to tag that down below. And I added 3 strands of hair per braid at the root. So this is my third, just because it gave me the desired thickness that I wanted in the braid. And then in terms of length, I end up adding 1 or 2 more down below because, as I said, her hair is long. So I wanted to make sure that the braid was longer than her hair. Than her real hair. So as you go, you just add Shine and Jam as you need to. We ended up using, and I'll put that in the description box below, number 4 braiding hair, and we used about 4 packs. So you just continue braiding all the way down. And then when I got to the bottom, this is where I added a little bit of hair because I wanted some extra length. So you just place the extra strand in the middle piece. Very hard to explain. I'm gonna show it again just so that you guys can kind of watch it. So you place it in the middle piece. Don't mind my dad back there. And then you just continue to braid. So now we're at the front, and this is where you're going to really see how it's done. So pay attention. So I parted, I think I did about 3 rows in the front. So it still gave me a jumbo feel, but not massively huge. So it's a pretty decent size, and I'm just going back through to make sure that the part is straight. Then I added some Shine and Jam just to make sure that the flyaways don't get in my way. And then I'm going to get ready to start braiding. So I really like using the Shine and Jam because it just helps keep the flyaways secure in one spot. But if you do have sensitive scalp, I would be mindful of using too much of that because it can irritate your client's scalp. So again, start off braiding with their real hair, 1, 2, add in a strand in between your pointer finger and your thumb. Your pointer finger and your thumb are like the most important fingers that you need when braiding. And you do that twice, 1, 2. I'm gonna add my second piece. 1, 2, and then add my third piece. 1, 2. Alright, so once you've added that third piece, you can kind of just turn your hands downward, and that's how I braid the rest of the way down, making sure that you're keeping your pointer finger and your thumb secure, adding in Shine and Jam when you need to. Okay, so this is where it gets a little more detailed of how to add hair to the braid. So I took the strand in the middle. So this is on your left hand, you have that middle strand. So I took the additional strand and put it right in the middle. And then I just hold that down as I braid, again with my pointer and my thumb. I think I'm gonna show that to you all again. All right, so you have in your left hand the actual braid that you've just braided. You are going to, in your pointer and thumb finger, hold the middle section of that braid. Okay, so you see in your left hand, you're holding the braid. Then you will see in the middle, between your left hand and your pointer and your, on your left hand, your pointer and your thumb finger will be holding that middle strand. You attach the extra hair in between your pointer and your thumb finger on your left hand, and then you continue to braid like normal. It's real hard to explain, but once you get the hang of it, just keep practicing. You'll see that it gets easier and easier as time progresses. In my previous video, I tried a different technique, and this one seems to be a little bit easier, and it also seems to be the technique that a lot of professionals use. So your girl is getting there. I'm getting there. All right, moving on. This is the last time I'm going to show y'all before the finished product. So again, you start braiding with her natural hair, then you braid it twice and add in a strand. 1, 2, add in your next strand. And the last strand. It was really hard for me to show y'all this without getting my right shoulder in it. It's just the way that I braid, and I wanted to make sure that her braid was nice and neat. This is also my sister's first time getting knotless braids. Not really sure why she's moving around so much and dancing. It's like, do you want me to do a good job or what? One thing, when you want it to be long and you're adding hair closer to where the braid is kind of tapering off, you don't want the strand of hair to be as big as the strands further up. So I just split it in half, but I used the same technique and I placed it in the middle strand of my left hand using my pointer and my thumb, and then I'm holding my hand securely and just braiding down like normal. Boom. Y'all see that precision? Took a lot of practice though, so if you can't get it on the first couple of tries, keep practicing. I had to push her head back because she still doesn't understand what it means to get her hair braided. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of this off camera, but I just wanted to show you guys that you need to make sure that you have brick layered parts so that it doesn't look spacey, especially when it comes to jumbo knotless braids. You need to have braids in between one another and not stacked up on top of each other. Okay, so that's why you need the brick layered parts. Okay, so now you just want to cut through the flyaways. It was really easy to cut through her flyaways because her natural hair is so long, so I wasn't really cutting. As I was braiding, I was making sure that I was tucking her long natural hair into the braid as properly as I could. So the flyaways are really from the Kankelon hair, so I'm just going through. There weren't too many, just kind of just grazing through the braid as I saw them. Alright, this last part here is always so difficult for me to really catch on camera, but you need to make sure that you seal the ends in hot water. So I boiled some water and I dipped her ends in the hot water. The steam coming from it, but it's always so hard for me to record it because I'm scared of getting burned. But after you do that, then I put some mousse on the top, which I also forgot to record, and that's about it. So this is the final look. It took us roughly, I was moving kind of slow because I just wanted to make sure I was doing it nice and neat. So it took me about 6 hours or so. Some of her hair is a little bit darker than the number 4 that we use, but we honestly had this hair left over in my house and we didn't feel like buying any more. So it did what it needed to do, and as you can see, it's giving what it needs to give. So my sister doesn't like taking pictures or being on camera that much, so this is the best that I could get, featuring little Katie and my main man K Schmizzy. But it's pretty long, and I'm glad that she's kept it in for 2 weeks. She's not a braid person. As I mentioned, she has sensitive scalp. So the fact that she was able to keep it in for 2 weeks because of the apple cider vinegar rinse really showed how much that helps. So if you have sensitive scalp, definitely try that out. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to your girl. Until next time, bye.